All this marijuana here, it's being packed up, all $1.3 million worth of it, and it's going straight into evidence. We are at an altitude of 10,000 feet right in the thick of Hurricane Irma right now. I'm News 5's JB Biunno. We are flying with the hurricane hunters. We've moved here down the causeway to show you another area that's been affected by this morning's storms. Take a look here. Scary situation that just unfolded maybe 10 minutes ago. I'm still a little rattled, as maybe you can tell. A shooting occurred right here behind me. I was a witness. I saw it all happen, and this is the video I was able to roll on maybe seconds after it happened. I ran for cover when the shooting occurred, but was able to get this video of the scene. It's a little dark here. You might want to check to see if your kid's Instagram app has that secondary profile. Look for the drop-down menu at the top of your app screen. Upon returning from our Hurricane Hunter flight right into the heart of Hurricane Irma, pilots making a startling discovery in their routine inspection. You gotta check this out. Take a look here at this damage to the nose of the aircraft. This is no ordinary damage, folks. Pilots saying that there is a 99.9% probability that the damage that you see here was actually caused by a lightning strike. The Navy saying he was going too fast, he ejected too late, perhaps because he was just too tired.
First on 5, doped up on meth, a dangerous criminal tears through Mobile County on a high-speed chase and is finally captured by deputies in 8 Mile. Richard Phillips, wanted for a string of robberies in Alabama and Mississippi, attempted to escape into the woods, but was dragged out by a police dog. Moments later, News 5 arrived on the scene and a wounded Phillips requested to speak on camera. News 5's JB Biunno, the only reporter on the scene, and interviewed Phillips last night. Good evening, JB.
Good evening, Roseanne. Phillips was in court this morning after his fast and furious joyride through 8 Mile last night with the cops hot on his trail. But when we interviewed Phillips on the scene, shirtless, bleeding, and high on meth, his demeanor was the opposite of what we were expecting.
If I don't get another chance, that'll be my fault, and I can't blame no one but me.
Troubled, remorseful, and broken. We were expecting a menacing criminal. Instead, a tearful Richard Phillips spilled a lifetime full of regret.
I hope that it's not too late for me, man, to get another chance in life. To be there for my son, like I promised that I would always never put him through what my parents put me through.
With fresh wounds from the police dogs that dragged him from the woods, Phillips admitted his relentless addiction to methamphetamine. During the chase tonight, all through these roads over the last several hours, were you high on drugs?
Yes, sir, and I wasn't, and I put a lot of people's lives at risk, and I wasn't thinking about that.
Are you high right now, Richard?
I'm coming down now because I've done run and I've done that.
Though apologetic, don't let appearances fool you. Phillips was labeled armed and extremely dangerous this week after an alleged robbery spree, knocking over store after store in Alabama and Mississippi.
I did them crimes, I'm saying. I was wrong for that, and I'm sorry for that.
That crime run came to an end when Phillips crashed in 8 Mile and failed to escape right outside Robin Coley's home.
I mean, it's very scary. We have small children. It just, like I said, he's remorseful because he was caught. And I hope and pray, and we will all pray for his little boy. I hope he gets the help he needs.
Phillips appeared before a judge coincidentally right after his alleged accomplice, Destiny Ann Worth, on Friday morning. But by this time, he had spoken his piece. The fugitive who terrified families on the Gulf Coast, offering these choice words to anyone who would listen.
This meth is nothing, man. It's the devil's drug, you hear me? And I run around, I do this stuff, man. And I wish I would just die every day, But I don't want to die. And I this goes out to all the kids out there. Please, man. Do not mess with meth. Do not mess with drugs. Do the right thing.
Now, the gun that Phillips reportedly threw out the window during the high-speed pursuit has not been recovered. Also, another suspect who bailed on Phillips out of the car into the woods is also still on the loose. This is Kiera Fareed of Mobile, fun-loving and full of life. She was a 20-year-old student at Alabama A&M.
I was the captain of the men's team.
When she went to her first spring break party last year in Panama City Beach.
Somebody texted me about a house party. And I asked my friends, "You don't want to go?" They said, yeah.
Kiera's memory is a bit clouded.
And the only thing I remember from that night is walking to the door and looking in, and it was like a few people there, and I said, we should just go. And they said, no, we're gonna stay.
All of a sudden, shots were fired.
An early morning shooting in Panama City Beach leaves 7 people wounded and 1 Mobile man behind bars.
22-year-old David Jamichael Daniels of Mobile, reportedly high on spice, opened fire.
People running in the middle of the road have been shot. Chaotic.
Most of the bullets hitting the girls from Alabama A&M.
I actually took my last breath that night in the doorway.
Kiera was shot in the head by a man she had never met.
When he was shooting, I tried to get up to run, and I was sitting right by the door, and like when I got up, that's when it hit me.
Kiera was rushed to the hospital, a part of her skull and brain blown away. 3 hours away in Mobile, Kiera's mom woke up to a phone call.
You know, when I didn't hear her voice, I jumped up out of bed, but when she said she got shot, I got weak and my legs just collapsed. I fell to my knees.
Doctors had to rebuild the right side of Kiera's head, reattaching her ear and using a plate to replace a portion of her skull. She lost part of her brain, her right temporal lobe, and to make matters even worse, she suffered a stroke. All of this paralyzing her left side.
She was so close to dying, and when they told me they had to remove a portion of her brain, and I'm going, you know, I'm really not thinking she's going to make it.
Yet through it all, Kiera says it was one indomitable belief that kept her alive. Her belief in God.
I'm blessed. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful that God used me.
If you could go back to that night and not have anything to do with that party, would you?
No.
Why not?
Because I am a miracle.
And there's so much more to this incredible story, but first on the shooter, David Jamichael Daniels of Mobile. He'll be behind bars for the rest of his life, given 7 life sentences earlier this year. But as for Kiera, her recovery since that night has been nothing short of miraculous. After the shooting, she would rally in a fashion her doctors could never have predicted, and it's all because of the woman she was raised to be. We pick up part 2 from the moment Kiera awoke in the hospital in I Am a Miracle, Tuesday night at 5 and 10 o'clock, right here on News 5.
News 5's JB Biunno broke the story. He joins us live in the Web Center with more. Good morning, JB.
Yeah, well, good morning, Devin. These prison inmates, they're using smartphones just like you and I use with a cell signal. They're watching YouTube, they're posting to their own Facebook pages, and they're video chatting with their family from inside the prison. And as we found out, in there's a black market for cell phones, and the inmates tell us the guards themselves are the biggest sellers. On Friday, this YouTube video was our first look inside the riots at home in prison. Posted online by an inmate with a smartphone. Then Monday, we video called an inmate during the second round of riots.
We have barricaded the front door.
Giving you an inside look behind the barricade. It's no secret, there are a lot of smartphones inside this maximum security prison.
They don't search for them as hard as they used to.
But the real secret is this. Is that what's happening? Are the guards selling you guys, smartphones?
I mean, it goes, yeah.
Corrections officers are selling smartphones to inmates. News 5 learning one prisoner paid $500 for a phone and $150 for the charger on prepaid gift cards snuck into the building.
Just like anything, there's a way.
This anonymous inmate telling us the guards think of smartphones as a way to keep the prison population busy, plus as a way to make some cash on the side. Is that what's going on there?
It's kind of like, yeah, this guy, they empathize. They empathize. They say, well, okay, I got a family at home, and you got a family that you want to talk to or whatever, and I can make me some money. It's like, for them, it's a win-win situation.
For what it's worth, this inmate says they've mastered the art of hiding the phones, despite what the Department of Corrections has to say.
We're constantly looking for any type of contraband, not just the cell phones.
It's going down in these.
In a prison that's seen 2 violent riots in 3 days, the inmates say smartphones can help deter future uprisings if allowed, or if the corrections officers continue to turn the other cheek. Now, we did our homework for this story, speaking to about half a dozen inmates who admitted to getting their smartphones from corrections officers, saying that in there it's actually pretty normal.